Good morning, and welcome back to Nurses Speak. This is Sonia, and I just want to say this video is going to go in a couple of different directions, but it's all on the same theme. And that theme is effective communication. And I was inspired to speak on this briefly this morning because communication is essential everywhere. No matter what environment you're in and who that interaction is with. So my inspiration came about because I was scheduled for a meeting. It was a remote meeting with someone. And I was going to be interviewed, and guess what? The audio was not working. Now I could hear the person loud and clear, but the person couldn't hear me. And I tried multiple devices, and we tried logging out and logging back in, and still nothing. We did the basic troubleshooting that we knew, and still nothing. So after a short time of attempting to improve the connection and the communication, right? Because obviously we can't communicate without audio, because one person won't be hearing the other. We decided to reschedule our meeting. And I was like, fine, good, okay, no problem. And so we have another appointment. And this time around, we'll see how it goes. But I'm saying all that as a little background because as nurses, and this goes true for anyone, how often do we feel like we're not being heard? How often are we speaking and communicating, and those that we are trying to engage with do not hear us? And this could be for many reasons. And sometimes we're heard, but we're not understood. Again, could be for many reasons. I mean, let's look at it, right? Language can be an issue. Intention can be an issue. The receiver's understanding and proficiency, experiences and background, filters what they hear. Obviously, if you're communicating via a device, technology can become an impediment to effective communication. At the same time, enhancing it, right? If we're doing written communication, guess what? It becomes even more complicated because the words that are being read, it's less likely that the intention, or the understanding behind the intention could be misinterpreted. Because some individuals' ability to communicate in writing is less effective than their ability to communicate verbally. And I give another example of that just happened. I inadvertently sent an email to a group that was supposed to only go to one individual. Now, don't ask me how or why. All I can say is I was doing something and I was distracted and I wasn't really paying attention. And I hit that send button and I was like, oh my God, I didn't had to go to everybody. So, of course, I missed that 10-second window to undo it, unsend it. And so I had to follow up with another email, of course, to kind of explain and just make people aware that, there's a transition taking place. And for those who want to support that, you're welcome to share your feedback, etc. Something along those lines. I had to extend some diplomacy. So we'll just leave that at that. But I'm saying all that to say that, look, communication is not easy, right? And again, we have instances where communication that's not effective, that's not clearly understood, can have significant ramifications, right? We saw this, and we're still talking about cases where, there's medication errors involved, there's treatment errors involved, there's arguments, there's confusion, even chaos can really ensue from ineffective communication where one party doesn't really understand. And in some instances when things are clear, emotions are at play, energies are high, and it's like, whoa, we need to rein things in, right? Because it can go from 0 to 100 very quickly, in these healthcare streets. We've seen this already. So in order to be able to effectively communicate, the one component that I notice that is missing oftentimes, okay, and I won't say always, but I'll say often, is our ability to communicate and understand energetically communicate. The vibe, the energy. I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a way that my communication is effective, okay? Because beyond words, there's energy. So things can be done in a way where the energy behind it is compassion, it's empathy, it's love, it's peace. Or the communication can be have an energy of dissatisfaction, resentment, anger, hostility, and just be very chaotic and confusing. So one of the things I feel is going to be really very important going forward as communication becomes even more complex, because words, there are new words coming up all the time, all right? And then many of the words that we thought we knew don't have the same meaning anymore. Or things that people said openly and freely can no longer be spoken. And so, at least not in public spaces, pretty much. And even in private spaces, because look, is anything private these days? Not really. So we have to be mindful about our communication. So getting back to the energy now, because energy is the one form of communication that I find cannot be misunderstood. Okay? It cannot. So, if you're one of those people who are able to read energy, you're tapped into your intuition, you listen to your gut, okay? Because these are all forms of internal communication. But this ability to communicate with yourself internally allows you to have a better understanding of the communication that's coming from others, okay? So listening is a very important skill that we develop as nurses. And it's important to really emphasize that, because sometimes the more education we have and the more knowledge we amass, we begin to think that we know more than the person whose experience is being shared. And that can be detrimental to effective communication. Because no matter what experiences I have had, what education and knowledge I have taken in and feel that I have mastered, there is really no way that I can say with all honesty and truth and absolute truth that I know another person, that I know the full intentions that they have, that I know what their experience is, that I fully understand what's going on in an interaction. Because people can choose to share what they want to share and withhold what they do not want to share. And the one thing that I can do to help facilitate an effective interaction is at least to allow their energy to speak to me, and for me to be able to interpret that energy. That would really give me a level of understanding that's beyond the words being spoken. Well, think about that for a moment, because that could be the difference between being alive or not in some instances, right? Or something miraculous happening, or a transaction and an agreement that is successful as a win-win situation, or inner guidance coming to say, this is one you need to walk away from. So anyway, I was just trying to sum it all up to say that effective communication is only effective on many levels where communication is open, clear, both parties are being heard, both parties are allowed to speak and share what's on their minds and on their hearts. And both parties are willing to not only listen, but to feel, okay? Feel the energy in the communication. And so, and at the end of the day, not take everything so seriously. Because come on. The next day is a new beginning. And you get to start fresh. And if there's anything from the previous day that needs to be addressed, by all means, we follow up, we clarify, we make amends when we need to. and we keep it moving. So I'm probably going to be posting some tips on effective communication. That's going to be very helpful. And, I got to tell you where to find it, right? Well, look me up on LinkedIn, Tonya Bob. I'm there. I'm also there under My Nurse Mentor. Same on IG. So, yeah, I'm going to start putting links to all these different platforms. Good morning. And, so you could just see a little bit more of the work that I do. Good morning. So thank you all for listening and joining again. I hope that my communication today was clear and effective. So drop a like, a comment, share with your friends to subscribe, I'm not here too often, but, I'm here when I need to be. So until next time, bye now.